Welcome to Tech Savvy. I'm Leigh Newman, and I am the Associate Provost of the LaGrange campus at West Georgia Tech. And we have another very exciting episode ahead for you today. I want to make sure that y'all are aware of some of the important dates that are coming up very soon. The 13th, May the 13th, is when the fees and tuition are due. So anything after that, if you haven't paid your fees or any of your tuition or anything, we will probably purge your account and you'd have to come back up to the school and start all over again, like with registration and all. So I want to make sure that if you know you haven't paid yet, you go up there today and get it paid. Classes start on the 19th, May 19th, and it'll go through July the 16th. So it's a short semester, but it's a jam-packed, action-packed time, and it's a good time to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time. So let's hurry on up to West Georgia Tech so we can get all this out of the way. We have a wonderful guest star today. She has lots of things to tell us about. She has been an educator for a long time. She's got lots of probably very interesting stories about students and experiences that she's had. And she's also West Georgia Tech's nominee for, I call it Teacher of the Year for the state, and it's called the Rick Perkins Award. And she's going to tell you more about that in, a little while later. We've got Dee Coulter, and she is an instructor at West Georgia Tech. And Dee, thank you so much for coming today.
My pleasure.
And I've been looking forward to having you on here because you're at the very center of what all we do at West Georgia Tech. And you've gotten a wonderful reputation. Your students are very, very happy with you and how you provide your training and you make a difference. And that's what we like at West Georgia Tech. So tell me a little bit about you, your background. I know you live in Alabama, don't you?
I do. I'm from Opelika, Auburn area.
Uh-huh.
And I've taught for 40 years.
You've taught at different colleges too, haven't you? But all post-secondary?
No, I taught 25 years at Opelika High School.
Oh.
Then I simultaneously taught at Auburn University for 11 years.
What did you teach there?
Math.
Math.
And I wrote 2 books for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I taught also at Southern Union State Community College for 24 years.
All this is kind of like on top of each other.
Yes, and I'm not 103.
No, definitely not 103.
No.
And then you started at West Georgia Tech.
I did, in 2002.
Okay, so you've been there 12 years.
I have.
Have you seen any dramatic changes in technical education since you've been in there?
I think it's just becoming the in place to be.
Really?
And I think that's the economy that's made that steamroll effect. When the economy took a turn, we had a lot of people coming to the technical schools. Also, when the government decided that the businesses could go overseas, a lot of the factories closed, and we provided a new start for all of those people.
That's exciting.
That's exactly what we've been doing.
That is, I mean, I see it happening all the time. And any non-traditional student that has been in a certain career for 25 years and now they're too young to retire, so they're lost.
Right.
They don't know what to do. And so when they come to us, they're just like scared to death. And what am I going to do next? You are in the general education area.
I am.
So define general education to those of us that are not academically oriented.
Well, we're the foundation or the building blocks for all the programs that we provide. And without the arts and science classes, technical skill training couldn't exist. You know, it's kind of like building a house without a strong foundation. Those bricks are coming down. So that's our function, is to get the students ready so that they can be successful in their program areas.
General studies is math,
English.
Mainly
math, English, and reading.
Reading, okay. And the English and reading are kind of in the same category now, aren't they?
Well, they're all in the English department.
Right,
So
right.
we have a math department and an English department.
So do you teach the 90 levels?
I do.
The 90 levels. All right. What about any of the upper levels?
I teach it all.
You teach it all. So what classes are you teaching this semester?
Right now I have college algebra, and I also teach all the different types of learning environments that we have. I teach the hybrid, the regular traditional classroom where you're seated, and then I also teach online. This time I have a Math 1111, which is college algebra, and it is online.
100% online.
100%.
The hybrid is both computer or internet and online and classroom, right?
Yes, they meet for half the time, usually half the time, in a seated class, and half the time is online.
Right, right. So a lecture, a classroom goes for?
Once a week.
For how long?
Hour and 15 minutes in a 15-week semester. It's double during the summer.
Oh, so that's an hour and
2 hours and a half.
Oh my goodness, that's a long
It is. You take a little break and then you keep going, and it's not bad at all.
Well, you can get a lot more done.
Yes.
In that amount of time, even though it sounds like a long time, but you've got to get, how many, is it 8 weeks semester?
Yes, for the summer.
And then, but you normally are 15 weeks?
15 weeks.
So you're getting 15 weeks into an 8-week session, so you've got to squeeze it all in.
But it's really a good opportunity, especially for the students that are going off to the universities, to get those much needed courses at a cheaper rate. Because we have
more value.
Yeah,
we're not cheap. We're
well,
more value.
It's less money.
Right.
And we still are just as good as anywhere else. So.
Well, that's something that I really wanted us to touch on today is transient students. So, like if a student that is going to Columbus State or West Georgia, University of West Georgia, or University of Georgia, and they're home for the summer, we're offering the same thing that they would be getting on campus where they are, but they could be getting it here in a short amount of time for less tuition and live at home at the same time. That just sounds like a very economical approach to education at this point.
It is, and it only takes up 8 weeks of their summer as well, so they can still have a summer, you know, but they do have to be prepared to study quite a bit.
Right, right. And whether it's the classroom the whole time or classroom and computer or all online, I mean, they still are going to have to cover the same amount of...
Exactly.
And I just must impress, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's not any easier at a technical college.
No.
It's the same standards that are met. It is the same type of curriculum, the same objectives and learning outcomes.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because of our same accreditation. Is that how it works? We're accredited by the same people that the university system is.
Yes. We're accredited by SACS, and they accredit all the schools.
Right.
So we do really well with that. I wanted to go back to something you just said, that it's not any easier, and what you're talking about is the material. But as far as learning the material, I think it is much easier because we are personable with our students, and we do a lot of one-on-one. And usually at the four-year universities, you don't see that. You see 500 students in a lecture hall, and getting help one-on-one is almost impossible. Whereas with us, you just make an appointment, and we're there for the students.
Well, that makes a big difference.
Makes a large difference. Yes.
Makes a big difference. We do have the services like the Student Success Center. We have plenty of good tutors and help. All you have to do is make an appointment, and then we're available after hours and office hours to help any way we can with that. And we communicate with our students, and it's so important to have open communication with our students.
Now, you talked about that I was popular, and I think that's why. Because I'm there till 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I'll adjust my hours if I need to make sure that I'm there for the students that need my help. So.
Well, I mean, it's your goal to make your students successful.
Exactly.
You're not there to keep them from being successful. You want them to be successful, and it sometimes that's another thing that I've learned since I've been in technical education is everybody's got the different buttons, and some people respond better to reading. Some people respond to lecture more or learn more. Some people have to do it hands-on and practice and all. And that's something that I don't remember having a lot of support in when I was in a university system.
Well, that's, you just hit a trigger button with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I do is I test the students in my class the first few days, and I see what kind of learner they are. And depending on what kind of learner they are, then they know for all their other instructors to tell them, don't just talk to me right on the board because I'm visual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And kinesthetic is you have to actually sing and dance. You have to act out as an instructor. You have to paper fold. You have to do things, manipulate.
Need to see it. Yeah.
They need to do it to understand. And it's amazing how I've helped a lot of students learn totally.
Mm-hmm.
Once they figure out what kind of learner they are, they now understand why they couldn't learn the other subjects before. It was because no one knew, including them, what kind of learner they were. So I think that's a big plus. That's something else I do.
See, that's so important. I know I've learned that I learn better by doing.
Mm-hmm. So you're kinesthetic.
Well, that's good to know. A little late in my life to know that, but it's good to know. But I realized that when I was getting my master's. I didn't like economics in undergraduate because I didn't understand what it would do. But once I had experience in the business world, I was able to apply those economics and those statistics, and I loved it. And it just makes a big difference when you learn how to apply it.
Exactly.
And that's all about how technical education is.
Yeah, and that brings to mind something else, the changes that have come along. What we're doing now is we're student-based. A lot of our 90 learning support classes are student-based and are student-driven. And what that means is that they are taking accountability for the learning process. Mm-hmm. Instead of sitting there and being lectured to, they now are at a computer and they are working either problems or reading the material and answering questions, and they're interacting with a computer, and the computer is able to tell them right away if they've gotten the concept. If they haven't, then they can push all these different buttons for help. They can also raise their hand and get a human being, that's the instructor in there, to help them as well. But we're student-driven or learner-driven, which is something big right now. And it is working.
I'm sure it is working.
Yes.
Because, I mean, first of all, that's given the students some experience on the computer where they might not have had all that experience. Right. And they might not like it because it's not the way they would have been taught in high school. They've had constant attention, one-on-one, or, getting the attention. And sometimes people miss the personal attention.
Well, we have some older students because of the economic situation. And when they walk in and they see the computers and everyone takes a seat, they're a little panicked. And right away instructors usually see that, and I'll either, if there's more than one in a class, then I'll take a younger student and kind of put them in charge of that older student to make them feel better. And if it's just one, then I sit right there with them and get them through that initial shock. But a lot of the younger students that we have, with all the video games and everything else going on, all the tech, the phones and so forth, the iPads, everything, this is right up their alley. This is how they learn. So we kind of had to adapt to make sure that we could teach the skills that they need in order to get into their program area.
It's all in the introduction and the transition. If it's thrown at them, it'll scare them. But if they are blended into it at a slower pace, it makes all the difference. Well, let's take a little break, and then when we come back, I want us to talk about your experiences as being our nominee for Madam Teacher of the Year.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Tech Savvy. We have Dee Coulter here today telling us all about her activities and her experiences in her her mode of operation when it comes to her instructional skills, and I want her to cover now all about her experiences in being nominated as our Rick Perkins nominee for Instructor of the Year for the Technical College System of Georgia. So Dee, first of all, tell me, why is it the Rick Perkins Award?
Well, the Rick Perkins Award was originally the Commissioner of Excellence Award, and then in 1996, when a fellow by the name of Rick Perkins, who was the West Georgia Technical College nominee.
He was a truck driver instructor,
He
right?
was in Carrollton. He passed away unexpectedly, and it was decided that the Commissioner for Excellence Award would become the Rick Perkins Award.
That's impressive.
It is.
He must have been special.
Well, I think so.
He must have been special,
Yeah.
and that says a lot about our instructors as a whole.
There you go.
All right, so you had to be nominated from a local level,
Yes.
and it was Creighton, I think, that nominated you.
It was Creighton and also Brian Barkley.
Okay.
That I found out later. I didn't know. You never know.
You never know. And so basically what's involved is an application process.
Yes, you have to give them a resume and a little short paragraph about your ideas in teaching.
Your ideas, like of technical education?
Yes.
Education?
Why you think technical education is important today.
Okay.
That's the title.
What was your main thought in your paragraph?
Well, I basically said that technical education is important because it fills a large niche in society.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is built to go to a four-year school, and we fill that need. A lot of people need to go to a technical school to learn a trade and then go out and have a life with that trade. Not everybody is going to be needing to go to a four-year school.
Exactly.
And with the economy especially, there are a lot of four-year graduates that have no jobs.
Exactly.
And our graduates have a high percentage of jobs. So
that's one of our report card categories, is it our placement rate.
Yes.
Because if we're not training people to get jobs, we're not doing what we're
not
supposed
doing
to
our
do.
job.
Right. And that's something that I really love to impress on people when I am talking about my job and the school and everything, is we're not going to have a program on our campus or in our college that doesn't have a job waiting for them.
Exactly.
We don't go waste people's time, and nobody has time to waste, and so that's important. Okay, so we get you to, you win. I think there was 4 or 5 nominees from different departments at West Georgia Tech.
One from each campus, so there were 6.
6 nominees from each campus. So you first represented the LaGrange campus, and then you had to compete with the others. And that basically was an interview process?
Yes.
Or did you have to do a talk?
Yes. You had to give a 3-minute speech.
On why technical education?
Actually, there was no topic. It was just...
Talk to me.
Yeah, talk to me, tell me about yourself, and why should you be our college representative for Rick Perkins.
What was the main reason?
My main reason was that I wanted somebody who got the award to represent everybody, because we're all great.
Right.
And I didn't want a person to get the Rick Perkins Award that just felt like they were good. We're all good. So that was my main goal.
Well, it's a team effort. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's a team effort. I mean, I don't see you teaching any air conditioner classes, and I certainly don't see Billy teaching any math classes.
No.
But y'all both build on each other. I mean, he's
do.
got to have the math. The students have to have the math. Okay, so there was some tough competition in that one, just to start off with, because everybody...
There was somebody representing nursing and an EMT person. There was another math person. The GED was represented.
Right.
Trying to remember the other people. But anyway, yes.
Tough,
yes.
tough, tight. All of
They
them
were all
would've been
good.
All right, so we made it through that level. I'm very, very proud of you because you're on the LaGrange campus.
Yes, yes.
And so from there, you did regional competition,
I
right?
did.
And what did that involve?
It was the exact same process, and all of the college winners, we have 3 different regionals. We have the Southern, the Central, and the Northern. And
This is technical, TCSG's Technical College System
yes.
of Georgia's regions,
They
right?
put the different colleges into a region.
Mhm.
They evenly space them, and then each of those college winners is competing against the others in their region. And at this point, we don't know who has won the region. We won't find that out until
Are we in
state.
the middle region?
Yes, we are, but they asked us to be in the Southern region. And so we became the Southern region.
Okay, all right. So the southern area of Georgia is who we competed with regionally. Okay.
And Macon,
In Macon. Okay, so the next step would be what?
the state,
The state.
April 23rd and 24th in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
We will all be coming together, and we will find out the first night who the regional winners are.
Which would be the top 10,
9.
top 9
There'll be 3 from each region.
region. Okay.
And those people will compete the next day as they have twice before with the 3-minute speech and answering the questions. They also look at the resume and they look at your paragraph and parents and all that. I'm sure they'll be watching us for 2 days.
Yeah, seeing how you react to
Uh-huh.
other people. I
Right.
mean, that's so important in the
Right.
whole scheme of things, because if you're going to sit off in the corner, you're not really setting a good example for your students, and that's what instructors' main job is setting a positive.
And they want somebody that's going to represent the whole state of Georgia, technical education. And they've got to be able to speak, and they have to have it in their heart. And so that's basically what's going to happen on April 23rd and 24th.
Well, I know you're
So,
excited about
I
it.
am. I'm a little nervous, but happy.
Well, it's like you said, you have to have the heart. You have to have the passion. And if you've got that, and I see that you do,
I do.
everything else is just going to be natural.
Well,
So-
it'll be an exciting time, and
You
you
make
learn
new
a
friends.
lot. You do. You really do. And they have a lot of good speakers, and you just get better and better, you know.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
It's a great experience, and we're very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
very,
Thank
very,
you.
very proud of you. All right, well, Dee, good luck in your competition. I'll be there for the night of the award ceremony.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Well, great.
I get to be there for that. But tell me a little bit about your students. What's the main characteristic about your students that you have recognized over the years? Are they, I mean, they'll be in your math class, so they must, in some cases, must need some help. They didn't get a lot of good math training earlier. Or they didn't pay attention when the training was available to them, right? So they come in and think, I don't want to be taking a math class. I want to be a nurse. This is just wasting my time.
Right.
How do you convince them otherwise?
Well, it's pretty easy to convince them that they need the math because I try to bring in air conditioning and nursing and electronics.
And cosmetology.
All in those word problems. You can pick and choose the word problems, and I try to find out what programs my students are in for that particular class, and those are the word problems that we'll do that are more comparable to what they need
area.
the math for. But you're right. Whenever I start a class the first day, I have them raise their hand. Well, who is not good at math? And 3/4 of the people raise their hand. Who really doesn't want to be here? 3/4. And by the end of the time, they always say, at the end of the semester, I couldn't have done this without you. And I said, yes, you could. No, it was all you. And I say, no, you were just ready for me.
Yeah.
So, I get all the credit, but it was you.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good to teach a subject that's so disliked.
Because your goal is to make them like it.
Yes.
Because they're going to have to
And
use
to
it.
make them to be able to do it and be successful. English is a lot easier, history, science, all those are easier. But math is traditionally a subject that most people run from. So even my husband, when I met him, he said, well, I really like math. And I said, why? And he said, well, I had to take it 3 times. So,
well, it sounds like to me you're right where you need to be, and you're making a big difference. And I say that over and over again, but that's what we're here for, is to make a
yes,
difference. And
we are.
to give
why I've been
people a
here.
better opportunity for a better life. We've run out of time.
Well, until
Hadn't this
another
been
time.
fun? I know. Will you come back?
I will.
We want to
I
know
will.
more. We want to know how everything goes with your
that would be great.
competition. Give us a rundown, especially if you win. But if you don't, we're still proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you for being here today.
Well, thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
That ends our episode, this episode of Tech Savvy. We hope you'll be back on to see us on our next episode. If you need anything between now and then, contact us at the school or visit us at West Georgia Tech. It's www.westgatech.edu. And thank you again for joining us.